Hi, this is Luke. I remember there was one case, in fact, a few cases when I was working with SIA uh, regarding some stewards. Some of them, even till today, they were recruited or they came from uh, the army, from the police force. They were like sergeants or corporals, and they are probably in their late 20s with such ranks, and they came into SIA and they had to work because they were new, so they had to work under young leading stewardesses, girls. So some of them couldn't take it. There was one guy who was a sergeant in the police force. He came, joined SIA. He was coached by me, and then when he got in, he couldn't take the humiliation, because he had to work under girls, young girls who were younger than him, like 23, 24, who were actually, uh, who joined when they were 18. So by the time they were 22, 23, they got promoted. So these guys can't take it. So what happened? A lot of frustration. How could a sergeant take orders from a young girl of 22, 24 years old? So in the end, they become so frustrated and miserable, humiliated, because they have to take orders from these young girls. So they resign, they quit. It's really sad. And this also reminds me of a case many years ago when I was flying. I was in the cockpit uh, talking to the captain. Captain was quite young, and he had on his right hand side the co-pilot. Uh, we called him or them first officer co-pilot. And it was a night flight, long flight, so I went up there and chatted with the captain. I knew the captain quite well, but I didn't know the co-pilot. And we had some discussion about discipline, about tech crew or cockpit crew, pilots and cabin crew and so forth. And somehow the topic was narrowed down to captains. Captains are commanders of the aircraft, the planes. And this co-pilot he was actually older than the captain, but in seniority, in rank, he was much junior. And he was quiet throughout the conversation, the time that I was talking to the captain. So I asked him, why are you so quiet? Then he said, well, in SIA, you don't open your mouth until your senior tells you so. So the captain turned around and jokingly told him, hey, come on, why don't you say something, okay? There's a freedom of speech in this cockpit. Of course, with me, three of us. So you can express your views. And he said, sure, you allow me to say things about the captains and the way they run the show in the cockpit. He said, sure, the captain said, go ahead. And that guy started, wow, all the curse words and so forth. He said, I can speak freely, so let me tell you. He said, you captains, you can't even fly as good as some people that I know. So it went on for a while, and after a while, I left the cockpit. I didn't want to get involved. And later on, I met this co-pilot outside the cockpit. He was going to the toilet, or rather, it was his rest period. He rests in the cabin, the first class cabin. I think we were operating a London flight, night flight. So I asked him, why were you so upset? And I mean, the way you talk. I said, where were you from actually? He said, I was from the Air Force, Singapore Air Force. And do you know, I was a major in the Air Force. And of course, when I joined SQ, I had to bring myself down to be co-pilot. And in fact, I don't want to boast, but I tell you, I can fly better than most of these captains. And so I told him, well, this is one of those things in life. You got to accept it. So this guy was so frustrated with some of the captains, not that particular captain where we were flying with, but these are the frustration. The guys in the cabin, the steward, they came in and they were sergeant, corporal in the army, in the police force, and they got to take orders from young girls. So, well, my advice is to those who are applying, who are holding some ranks in the disciplinary forces, you come in, if you want to be a steward, be prepared to work under these girls, right? So my advice is that otherwise you quit from your previous job, you join SQ as a cabin crew, and you can't take orders from the young girls, you get frustrated, and then you quit. What a waste. This is one of the stories that I feel like telling you all in the YouTube video. And thanks for listening and watching my video.